Hey home buyers, the question I'm hearing most right now about buying a new home, and especially for first-time home buyers, is exactly what do you do? What is the purchase and the process of purchasing a home? What do you go through? What should you expect? And in today's video, I'm going to explain just this step by step. And as you check out the video, be sure to ask any questions by commenting below, and stay tuned to the end to hear all 12 of the steps and make sure that your process goes as seamlessly as it possibly can. Let's make your home purchase an immense success. I'm Bru Krebs, your Atlanta real estate expert, and I'm so glad that you joined me today on this 12-step process on how you purchase your home and what you should expect. In this video, I'm going to give you a very simple and easy process to understand, so it'll make your decision whether you want to purchase your new home or not a much easier one. So let's start at the top with step number 1. Determine your budget and get pre-approved for a mortgage. The first step in the home buying process is to determine your budget and get that pre-approval for the mortgage. This will give you a good idea of how much you can afford and how much you want to spend on your home, and it'll help you narrow your search tremendously. You can get pre-approved by speaking with a mortgage lender who will review your income, debts, and credit history to determine exactly how much you can borrow. And you know, one of the things that I've seen with home buyers, if they're not pre-qualified or not prepared for what they get, is they find that perfect home that they want and they can't make an offer on it and somebody steals it away from them, or they can't actually qualify for it, or there was too much that it costs to run on a monthly basis and they become heartbroken. So if I can encourage you of anything, the most important first step is definitely to get out there and get that pre-qualification letter. You'll be very glad that you did. So step 2 is really to start your home search. You know, now that you know what you can afford, it's time to think about what can I buy. You know, start looking online, driving through the neighborhoods, checking out areas that you're interested in, talking with your real estate agent and sharing your information with them so they can set you up the best search possible as well. Most real estate agents have some very good technology too that'll help you really hone in on what you're looking for very quickly, and make sure that you don't miss it, because let's face it, a lot of times the really good ones, if they're priced right, they're gone pretty quickly. So it's important that you start your home search, you save those favorites, you interact with the system, and you talk to your real estate agent as much as possible. The more you do those things, the faster you'll find the perfect home for you at the perfect price. The third step is to make an offer, and your real estate agent can help you negotiate the terms of the sale, including the purchase price, closing costs, and any of those contingencies that need to be met. A contingency is a condition that must be met before the sale can be finalized. For example, you may include a contingency that the sale of your current home must be done in order for you to obtain the mortgage on a new home. Also, it's really important to remember that your real estate agent is going to have the best information for you to figure out the prices and what to offer on those homes. Your real estate agent will be able to pull good comparable properties based off of the one that you're looking at and help you make a wise decision. I mean, let's face it, paying way over what you should for a property is absolutely no fun, and it can really hurt you financially in the long run. So be sure that you discuss all these things with your agent as you're thinking and making that offer. Now, the fourth step in the process is that earnest money. The earnest money must be delivered to the designated entity. It's usually the broker, either the listing or the selling broker, and it's usually done within a period of time, usually 2 to 3 days after going under contract. Earnest money is that money that you put down. You know, it's the deposit money that ultimately gets applied to your purchase price of the property. It basically says, hey seller, I've got goodwill and faith, and I'm gonna move through this process, and this is the money that tells you I'm committed to, you know, working this out. Now the 5th in the 12-step process is to start that application for your loan and order the appraisal. This is typically done within the first 5 days of the contract. You want to make sure you get these done in time, because if you don't order the appraisal and get the application in, you may miss those critically important deadlines for both the appraisal and the financing. And let's say, for example, the appraisal comes in, it's super short and you're past the deadline. Well, guess what? You still got to buy the house, or at least you're going to lose your earnest money if you walk away from it. So it's really important that you get those done during those first few days. If you miss any of the deadlines, you can risk losing your earnest money. So it's important you follow those very, very closely. Your real estate agents should show you the way and remind you of those, but it is very important to watch those dates very carefully and make sure you get the steps in the process done before it's too late. So when we're looking at number 6, we're talking about that due diligence period. The due diligence period is typically a 7 to 10 day period after you actually went under contract. And that's when you have the property inspected. You check out the bylaws, you do any other inspections or research you need to ensure that this home is right for you. And generally you can get out of the contract for pretty much any reason during that first 10 days. So it's your opportunity to get that free look, make sure you know what you're buying and that you're comfortable with it. I highly recommend getting a home inspection during your due diligence. It's a really good idea to have a home inspected to identify the potential issues with the property. This can help you make a very informed decision and protect your investment. Now, it's important to keep in mind that home inspectors are a general practice and they are designed to try and come up with as many things as possible in the house. But I also highly recommend that you focus on the big things and maybe don't look so much at the little nitpicky things, maybe like a touch up of the paint wall or something simple like that, but focus on those bigger things that come out in the inspection and then negotiate with the seller to find a resolution on those items. You know, as you've made your application for your loan and you're getting along, the next 7th step is to submit those necessary documents in order for your lender to process the loan. And that's going to be things like 6 months of bank statements, your last couple of years of tax returns, maybe other income verifications that you may have, credit history, stock portfolio information, and those kind of things. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that they're going to ask for, and it's very important that you get that in as early as possible so that they can continue processing your loan, because the whole time they're working on their side, they're processing documents through different departments to make sure everything is done absolutely right and everybody gets exactly what they needed to get. Of course, after you process those loans and you get all the paperwork into the lender and you're rolling right along, the appraisal is going to be what's coming up next. So that's step number 8, getting that appraisal back and ensuring that it's at the value greater than the purchase price of the home. Getting an appraisal back and before the deadline is critically important. If you get that appraisal back after that deadline and it's below the purchase price, well, there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna have to come up with the difference, or if you walk away from the sale, you lose your earnest money. Of course, if an appraisal does come back short of the purchase price, go back to the seller and say, hey, look, would you reduce your price? Now, it has to be done during that due diligence period, but ask them, would you reduce the price? Maybe you can come to terms on something that does work for everybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be a throw your hands in the air and walk out the door type of situation. Now, step 9, and this is always a fun one, is the lender is going to come back and ask you for several more items to finalize the approval of your loan. And sometimes they may even have been stuff you sent them once or twice before. So just be prepared for it. It happens in pretty much every single case. They'll need like an additional verification of income or something from your employer, any number of things. It's usually like 5 to 6 items, and it usually happens about day 16 into the contract process. So be sure that you're prepared for that and enter it with a great attitude. It will make it much easier because it can be very frustrating when they come back to you and you're not prepared for that. Now, number 10 is getting that final approval of your loan and the clear to close from the lender. This is a big one. That means that your lender has finished their underwriting and they have said, yes, attorney, you may go ahead and close this deal. And then of course there is step 11, which is closing the sale. This means all those home inspection items have been completed and any necessary repairs have been made. And it's time to close the sale. This involves signing all that necessary paperwork, paying those closing costs, and transferring the ownership of the property. This is done in an attorney's office here in Georgia, and is facilitated with the attorney representing the lender in the transaction, unless it's a cash transaction. And in that case, it can be designated on either side. But closing the transaction is obviously one of the most important parts and one of the most fun parts, except for number 12. And that brings us to step 12, move in. Congratulations, you are now a homeowner and you can start building your dreams every single day. And those are the 12 basic steps for purchasing a new home. Buying a new home can be one of the most exciting and exhilarating experiences in your lifetime. and making sure that you make the right decisions and buy the right home for you is very critically important. Always an excellent idea to have an expert in the market you're looking in to be working on your behalf. Those experts are going to know the locations, the buildings, the styles, the builder, what's most commonplace in the market, how to best position your offer, and ensure that you get the best home possible. Knowledge is truly, truly powerful, and I cannot begin to stress how important that is. And as you probably know, I work the Atlanta in-town market and also out in the metro Atlanta area, but I have affiliates across the United States who are excellent and at the top of their field. So if you do have any questions about real estate in Atlanta or anywhere in the country, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you or connect you with the perfect partner to help you maximize your real estate objectives. You can call me, text me, message me anytime. Thank you again so much for tuning in today, and I so appreciate you. And if you did find this video valuable, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing it so I can reach more great folks just like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click that little bell button to be notified when those new videos come out. I'd love to have you with me, and I'd also love to hear your ideas for new videos that I might be able to produce. So please feel free to text me, call me, message me, comment, or any way you like to communicate. I would love to hear from you. And if you did like this video, check out the next one that pops up on the screen, because I think you're gonna like that one too.